talk to you again a little bit about rules for radicals. I started to talk about this yesterday, and I went home and put the kids down, and I watched a little bit of the show last night. And the importance of this really hit me. This is really important. What we talked about last night with rules for radicals when Saul Alinsky went and met with a mob. Progressives are fanning the flames of chaos in this country right now. And the tactics that they're using, Saul Alinsky, is revolutionary, but more. And it's important that you know what they're doing. It's a very specific system that they have in place to achieve what they want. And it's made up of the three phases that I've told you about. The first phase is infiltration. And this is the phase I believe we have already passed. It is, they start to organize groups. They organize the organized. They don't care about individuals. Then they organize the media and Wall Street, the courts, labor unions. They do everything they can. Then they set everything up to get as close to chaos as they can. We're there now. We're at phase 2. And that's what you're seeing play out now in this country. Chaos. People are beginning to rise up, and they're encouraging it. Progressives and radicals and revolutionaries, people who hate America, are stirring the pot. They're enforcing the negative stereotypes, right? I mean, think of this. What are they saying about white Hispanics now? They're enforcing the negative stereotypes. And they're also doing the same thing with the black community. What are they saying? That if you wear a hoodie, you're a hoodlum? They discourage the truth. That we're seeing all the time. But again, let's go to Florida. If you say anything against, if you say, you know what, I'd like to wait, I'd like to see, you are also then a racist. They're encouraging reckless habits. These are all tactics that come out of the Progressive Handbook, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. This is what I've explained to you before, but last night I took it a step further. Both President Obama and Hillary Clinton are students of this. The so-called teachers of Obama and Hillary Clinton is the same guy who dedicated his book to the first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that at least he won his own kingdom, Lucifer. Alinsky taught these guys, and they don't care what method works as long as it works in the end. As I told you last night, and it's important that you really digest this, he actually got into Al Capone's gang and became close with the mob's top executioner. He said, I learned a hell of a lot about the uses and abuses from power from the mob. Shouldn't that chill you to the bone? Because what he means by that is, I learned a lot. We can emulate this. From this experience, Alinsky formulated his tactics to bring the mob tactics into the mainstream. It's what he promised the mob he would do. It's why they let him in. I'll teach this to the rest of the world. Quote, his approach to social justice relied on generating conflict to mobilize the dispossessed. That's the thing that stuck out at me last night when I watched the show. Look at that sentence. Look at that sentence, really, and see what they're doing. They are generating conflict to mobilize the dispossessed. Generating conflict. That's why nobody cares about the little girl I showed you last night in Chicago. They don't care. That's why when this congresswoman says, oh, you know, I'll tell you this right now. I cared about that white woman, whatever her name is. No. That's why they're making little charts and little graphs and everything else and standing in front of Congress and in front of cameras because they are generating conflict. They destroy people's lives. They tear our families apart. They intimidate kids. They will cripple businesses. Acquiesce. Most importantly, all they care about is getting you to fall into line, to shut up, to sit down, to be quiet. It sounds like what happened under this administration, like jamming health care bill down America's throat, something that the overwhelming majority of people didn't want, and those who do want it didn't even like the bill the way it was drafted. It describes our press. Anyone who disagrees is mocked, shamed, targeted as a hate monger or a bigot. Generate conflict. You've got people like Louis Farrakhan spreading anti-Semitism. We've seen union leaders targeting individuals, mobbing the home of a bank executive and scaring his children. One child was up at home in the bathroom, hiding in the middle of the bathroom because he was so afraid of the mob there were union mob that was surrounding this banker's home. This is the same type of intimidation as what's happening now in Wisconsin. The local union workers there, the AFSCME, which is affiliated with the good people at AFL-CIO. These are the federal workers, state workers. They just sent out a letter to local businesses urging their support by displaying pro-union signs in their office or their store windows. Quote, failure to do so will leave us no choice but to do a public boycott of your business. And sorry, neutral means no to those who work for the largest employer in the area and are union members, end quote. This is a mob tactic. The head of the local pro-business lobbying group says, quote, it's kind of like the old protection racket. If you have the right sticker, we won't break your knees. That's the mob. It's just like a storyline right out of The Untouchables, or the real-life actions of Al Capone, which we all know is part of the Saul Alinsky progressive framework. That's where it came from. These are the same big labor thugs who want to oust Governor Scott Walker over his collective bargaining reform law. So obviously, you're a target if you support him. Now, here's where I find this amazing. One woman learned that you better keep your mouth shut. She was fired from her custodial job when she refused to get rid of a pro-Walker sign in her car. 2 other employees had complained about the sign in her car. She said, I'm not going to get rid of it. It's my car. It's my life. They fired her. They're basically complaining about a bumper sticker. First of all, who complains about a bumper sticker? And really? Have we come down to this? Where you could lose your job. I can't fire a union worker to save my life. But the union can get rid of you if you have a bumper sticker in your car? Really? This woman was fired because she didn't subscribe to the union mentality. Oh, wait, an update. She did get her job back, but she was moved to a different building. So for putting a sign in her car, she was fired, then pressured, rehired, and now she's had to pack up her desk and move. Isolate her, make her the target, convince people of the evil stereotypes about conservatives, and if you can't convince them, you isolate them and neutralize them. This is the time for the Tea Parties to rally around, especially in Wisconsin. Conservative Michelle Malkin wrote, President Obama, the AFL-CIO, SEIU, AFSCME, and left-wing operatives know that Wisconsin is ground zero for the battle against limited government activists. If they can chill fiscal responsibility and free market-based reforms in Wisconsin, they can chill it everywhere. Will the movement of conservatives let them? I don't know. I don't think so. I know I have geared up for the last year for this time in my life. I think you have too. You can't allow the unions to bully us. Look at their tactics. But be careful, because look at their tactics. We have to keep exposing the union thugs and their disgusting, let's be honest, evil behavior. Rush Limbaugh tweeted, must-see video, left-wing intimidation showing up at people's houses to harass families. They will fail. He's right. They will. But we have to have the courage and the willingness to have a backbone and stand. I want to show you that clip that Rush said was a must-watch.
There have been numerous complaints that have come to our office with, I would call it thuggery, where you're trying to intimidate people.
You bring it on, baby. I'm a big bastard. I'm the meanest damn liberal in the land. I'm looking for a fight with any teabaggers. That's right. So bring it on, you loud mouth, wussy mother.
Those are things that happened, back in the 30s. I've got people that are just really scared.
We're told that several hundred protesters trespassed onto the Port of Longview terminal property this morning. Police are right now assessing the damage. We're told they even held security guards hostage in a booth there.
ULW will fight these people till the bitter end.
Tell the unions, I will not comply. There is a lot of stuff that is coming in the next few weeks, probably 4 to 8 weeks on this program and in these studios. Anyone who asks, okay, Glenn, okay, well, what do we do now? There's a lot. There's a lot. This audience, I believe, may change the course of the next election. But it's going to take an awful lot of work, a lot of guts. It's going to take people who are who understand the love and the service thing, but also people who are unstoppable on politics. Those things are going to be disconnected, you will see as we roll them out. But each of them are important, and you have to figure out what is your calling, what is the thing that you're supposed to do. Options are coming. Tomorrow is my last day in this studio, and then to the Dream Labs. More in a minute.